This is a catcher's analysis video for Will Kence. Will is a 12U player on the Bombers 12 Navy team. He's been doing the winter workouts here in the catching sessions. I believe this is around his 8th session. Unfortunately, the ones he has missed have been the ones where we've been working on throwing and throwing footwork in particular. So you can see in this video, he's a little rusty. He's got some things that we've identified that he can work on. But otherwise, in terms of just pure receiving and blocking the ball, I think he's in good shape going into the season. It's also worth noting that Will, unlike most of the other players here, is a winter sport athlete. He's a skier, so he's missed a lot of the team winter workouts. So he's just a little bit behind the curve in terms of baseball activities with the other guys. So he's got some catching up to do. But hopefully, looking at some of this stuff, he can work on some of the drills that we do and just sort of polish off some of those rough edges. So let's start by watching this video at full speed. Here we go, Will with the throw. Okay, so let's look at this now at a slower speed. We'll go at 1/4 speed. So one thing I want to start looking at is just the feet and the initial setup. So right here, he's good. He's nice and low. I really like how he's keeping his target down. We're doing all these throws dry, so that means that we're not throwing the ball in. The ball starts in the mitt to get a little more pure mechanics on it. But he's starting low in a really good space. His feet are nicely spaced apart. You can see that right here, his right foot, his plant foot on the throw, is just a little bit behind his left foot, which is good. But he's also maintaining pretty decent, not great, but pretty decent squareness with his shoulders so that if a ball bounces in, he's in a good position to block just in case. So moving forward on the video here, let's watch his feet. And a reminder of what we would want to see is that right foot shoots over, the left foot comes forward in a little stab step when we throw. That's all the footwork there is. No big javelin throws or anything like that. So as we move forward, we see, look at that right foot. He's coming up a little bit. One thing that I noticed with Will is he's coming out of his crouch and all of his energy is going up in the air. So he's springing upward out of his crouch rather than forward into the throw. That's, again, just a little rustiness he can work on. So moving forward with that, look at that right foot, comes over. Nice plant. Now, if you look right in here, in that area, you can see that he's getting his right foot a little bit in front of his left. And so what that means is he's got to swing his left foot around a little bit to get past it. It's a minor thing, not even a tenth of a second maybe, but seconds count, tenths of a second count, hundreds of a seconds count. One thing I really want him to work on is you'll see his stride is really long. Look how far apart he is here when he lands. So what that forces him to do, if you look at this spot right here, that's a much longer stride than I would like him to take. There's a couple of reasons we don't want him to go that long. One is it just takes more time to get your foot out there. Again, hundredths of a second, but they matter. The other is it's forcing him up in the air, which we don't want to see so much because we want that back leg to stay nice and bent so you can explode, use your leg strength here to explode into the throw. So I would like to see that angle be a little bit more like that than it is almost all the way open right now. As we move further in the video, we can see what I'm talking about. You move into this frame. So look, he hasn't quite thrown the ball yet, and yet right here already, he's already locked on that back leg. So he's leaving some strength on the table from his lower half and getting more of the throw going with his upper half. So if he would just stay a little bit lower and maybe cut off that stab step with the left foot to like maybe there, he'd be a little bit better off with the explosiveness on the throw. But he comes through, he gets a nice solid plant, comes through. Okay, so that's the stuff we want to work on the feet. Maybe just getting that stride a little bit slower. Let's go back to the beginning here, keep it at slow-mo. Let's look at the hand. So He's in a good receiving position. I like where his mid is right here. His hand is in a nice, safe place behind his ankle. Personally, I prefer to have catchers keep it up near their hip, just because it's closer to the transfer point. And just psychologically, the catcher, you know that you have to get the ball from the glove to the hand. If your hand is down near the ground, there's a tendency to get that glove to go down to the ground too, which is just time. You know, the ball needs to be thrown from up here near the ear. So if it's going down there, then going up there, that's just two sides of a triangle. It's more time than the direct path to the ear. So let's watch just his hands here. Boom. So he's transferring, and you see he's keeping it really low. This level right here, the transfer, is a little higher than that. It's maybe kind of bottom of the rib cage sort of area, which is a bit low. And then watch what he does. First thing when he comes out, watch this area right here. First thing he does is he drops that hand. So see how it's going down and coming back. Look how low that baseball is. Look at the level right here. That baseball is below his waist. We want it to be up here at his ear, throwing, because again, it's time. The baseball goes from here to here for the throw, and it's much faster to just go right up there for the throw. So let's get those arrows out of there. So, and that forces him with that low one. Look at how far back he reaches. He's reaching almost all the way back behind his body like an outfielder or like a pitcher would throw a ball, not like a catcher right from his ear. And with that huge stride and that big opening, it's just taking more time. And literally, this is maybe 0.2 of a second that he's adding, and that is the difference between safe and out. That's several feet of running for the base runner. Watch him throw through. See, so now here, he's right at his ear in a good place, right? He brings it there. He gets there eventually. It's just that the ball takes a big detour to get there, which we would like to eliminate and just take it directly to that point. And then if his leg was right about here, he'd be exploding really, really well into that throw. So boom, he comes through. You can see right here with that long stride what it's doing again to his leg there. He's all straightened out. He's really basically throwing off his front foot, which is eliminating a lot of the power that you have in your lower half. The human body is much stronger below the waist than it is above the waist, and we want to get as much of that into the throw as we possibly can. And keeping those legs bent, staying low on the throw is good. And it allows for that to happen. So he follows through nicely. He's a little off balance because of that long stride. Boom, end of throw. So key things for Will that I want him to work on is getting that transfer point here, get it higher, get it much higher on his body. So take the mitt straight to the ear, no dropping. Then boom, not reaching so far back with the baseball and so far down when he's throwing. That ball should really be right up there, right up by his ear every time. Next thing, keep that stride a little bit lower because he's in a great position here. If he was this low and his foot had come down on the ground right about there, boy, is he ready to throw a nice, good throw. But he can't throw from that point because the baseball's all the way back there. It's not up as his ear yet. So all of these things are part of a chain that interconnect. So getting that transfer high, getting the stride lower is all going to put together to make a faster, much more explosive release for him. And other than those two things, I really like what I'm seeing with the setup. You know, the throw is good, strong, powerful. I would just really like to see those two things, higher transfer and a slightly slower stride on the throw. I know Will's got a good work ethic, so he's going to work on that stuff before the season. But by and large, for a couple months off, not really throwing in anger, this is not bad at all. Good job, Will. Keep working, and you're going to have a great season. Thanks.